Well, we have the bruising of the sternocleidomastoid muscles and the deep bruising of the neck, which could result from a constricting force around the neck of some sort, or it could result from a blow to the neck or the neck falling on an object. And of course, a blow with a baton to the neck region could cause these kind of injuries.
Any questions pertaining to the nature, cause, or facts or circumstances surrounding the death of Mr. Morris?
The jury is now faced with two separate autopsy findings. Their verdict will have no effect on a future criminal case. It will, however, determine the final line on Larry Morris's death certificate: accidental death or asphyxiation at the hands of two Los Angeles police officers. In the Criminal Courts Building, I'm Schuyler Sprouse for News at 10.
At the time of your instructions, but briefly at this time, you will probably be asked to render a motion. If you have any questions in that regard.
Officer, thank you very much. Mr. Wagner, is it true that you entered Larry Morris's apartment without a search warrant and forced your way into his bathroom?
Don't answer that. Serve the Fifth Amendment also.
Mr. Wagner, is it true that when you or your partner entered the bathroom, you struck Larry Morris many times with your baton?
Don't answer that either. Same basis.
Basically, cardiac arrest is a standstill of the heart.
Remain standing at the witness box where I will swear you in. And prior to doing...
Our contention is that the man died from asphyxiation, which is compatible with some kind of instrument or force used against his neck.
Ladies and gentlemen, I do wish to make a statement after counsel's questions that the questions that were asked you are not to take the context of any question placed to this officer as to evidence in and of itself. You will not take that into consideration, and of course, you will be in arrest.
Beneath these abrasions and beneath the scalp, then there were multiple hemorrhages present of a moderate nature, a slight to moderate nature. Photograph 24 depicts the scalp. The brain was essentially, for all purposes, itself negative. I had putting the forearm as you stand behind or slightly to the side of the person to whom it's being applied, then usually the right, I think if you're right-handed, forearm is brought around their neck, and the lower portion of the forearm wrist area is placed against their neck and held in order to try to attempt to cause loss of consciousness if there's a severe disturbance going on. By doing this maneuver, the attempt is to press on that carotid artery, cut off the oxygen to the brain, and this will then cause a fainting or loss of consciousness within a matter of...
An instrument. We don't know.
Yes, I have no indication that the instrument was held across the front of the neck, though. It would have had to have been something coming in from the side of the neck and both sides of the neck constricting the neck.
Other than the thin bruising mark that you found on the...
During physical altercation, due to or as a consequence of arteriosclerotic heart disease and blunt force injuries to the neck, and this was a physical fight, basically. There was underlying arteriosclerotic heart disease, which is a degenerative atherosclerotic condition caused by narrowing of the arteries that supply the heart, coronary arteries, with subsequent scarring of the heart and other complications, enlargement and so forth. And it was apparently over several minutes in the small confined space. I believe it was approximately 4 by 7 feet, with some plumbing fixtures there in the bathroom also, in addition to the 3 people. The decedent then apparently, from my understanding of it, fell or was extricated from the bathroom right outside of the bathroom door. Handcuffs were applied. He was laying prone, that is, on the front of his body while the handcuffs were being applied. This entire altercation apparently took somewhere between 5 to 7 minutes from the time the officers arrived in the apartment to the time that the decedent suffered a cardiac arrest, according to my understanding. And it's either probably caused, some of them were caused by a police baton. Some of them may have been caused, there was a broom handle present. I don't know if there was some of them may have been caused by a fall or a blow by the broom handle, or any similar type of object that would have been present could have caused those bruises.
Excluding the neck for a moment, Doctor, again, the small, is that correct? Or the shirt he was wearing?
Well, from the information that I have of the struggle and the possibility that this T-shirt could have been grabbed during the struggle, and the location of the edge of the T-shirt and the characteristic of the bruise, which is much smaller than the bruises that are present on the other portions of the trunk, I feel that that's consistent with the edge of the T-shirt being pulled across the skin of the neck.
Did you find anything during the course of your autopsy on the decedent in the neck area that would indicate to you that an instrument such as a baton may have been used, either pressure-wise or otherwise?
The autopsy showed blunt force injuries. That is, in this case, soft tissue hemorrhage in the neck region around the area that the vessels and nerves which supply the heart and the vessels which supply the brain. Directed the instrument in a downward and vertical direction against that if it could. I have no particular bruising of the skin of the neck, which absolutely shows me that there was a blow with a baton to the neck, and these injuries that were present are not, one is supposed to accomplish a few seconds, maybe 8 to 10, 12 seconds possibly. Then the person can be handcuffed or whatever. Yes, I think a constricting force around the neck like that, yes.
In other words, as you viewed the injuries, it doesn't necessarily indicate that an instrument was used. It could have been done by a carotid hole, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And it could have been done by... Did you find any...
Ready to go. Whenever you're ready.
Okay, Mr. Gilbert, this is giving my report.
The only purpose of the inquest is to determine how to, quote, mode a death certificate, unquote, which means that you put on the death certificate that he died either from an accident, or he died from he killed himself, suicide, or he died at the hands of another, which could be homicide. That's the whole purpose of the inquest.
But regardless of how the juries decide this, it's not admissible.
No, it's not admissible any further or future civil case or criminal case. The verdict of the jury is not admissible. The only thing that might be admissible are the sworn testimony of the people who have testified here today, who are going to testify. They can be potentially impeached if their testimony is changed at a later date. It's under oath.
All right, now the Morris family had their own autopsy.
Yes.
Could you elaborate on those findings?
Well, they're really basically the same as the original autopsy. There isn't much difference. In fact, yes, from a choke.
The jury is now faced with 2 separate autopsy findings. Their verdict will have no effect on a future criminal case. It will, however, determine the final line on Larry Morris' death certificate: accidental death or asphyxiation at the hands of 2 Los Angeles police officers. At the Criminal Courts Building, I'm Schuyler Sprouse for News at 10. The jury is now faced with 2 separate autopsy findings. Their verdict will have no effect on a future criminal case. It will, however, determine the final The jury is now faced with